Well, there's a lot of good things, and we came into scrimmage. Nick and I talked about what we wanted to do on offense and defense with the first couple drives, and maybe one later on, run the football more, try a little bit more run defense. And I thought there were some good things on both sides, but I was really happy. You know, really, we had three running backs. I thought that stood out today. And you saw what Ryan Walsh could do. We went to a nickel package. It was second and long. And I just wanted to look at guys, try to look at different positions we were trying to play, and they blocked it. We were a gap short over there, but they did exactly what they're supposed to do. I thought Dylan Green ran hard between the tackles. And I thought Connor Polson did some very good things today. Not only run the football, he had a screen out there. We had some miscommunication with the offensive line. Nick and I were talking about, for the old timers, it reminds us of DJ Dearcorn when we first came here and how DJ did a lot of things for us. Well, we played pretty vanilla today. We didn't blitz it all today. We didn't put them in too many bad situations. We wanted to see guys play fundamental up front. I think I had one line blitz is all, maybe two today. Secondary coverage, we were pretty vanilla back there, but there are defenses that we play a lot. You know, the defenses that we got to learn, not just the assignment alignment, but the execution of it. Young kids, I stayed pretty vanilla, but what I was disappointed with them a little bit is they didn't know where to line up at times. Anytime you miss a line, that's going to put you out of position to make it, make a play. I thought the offensive line stayed in their blocks. We got some competition in a couple spots. We're not really sure who's going to play where, especially in the back. And I think our starters are pretty well set. We'll take a look and make sure that holds true with what Jim and Alex and Nick think. But it's the backup guys that we got to look at. We've got a couple guys that might be playing guard and tackle, maybe a guy playing center and guard, and that usually happens anywhere, so it's not uncommon for that. Well, I'll let you know when I look at the film. You know, it's always hard when you're standing on the sidelines and you're trying to look at different players and make sure we got the right combinations in the game, but it hopefully will be answered. We told our guys today, come Monday, there's going to be a scout team. And that's awful hard for some guys, maybe not the freshmen, but maybe some of the sophomores or juniors, that if they're not performing where we can be best for the team, then we got to make some tough decisions. We're going to look at too deep, and then there might be a couple guys in the bubble that we need some positions at. Where I know safeties, I'd like to have an extra linebacker for special teams. Wide receivers, we may carry 6 or 7. I know we'll carry 6, but we may carry 7. So we got some guys to look at, and we got to look at it for a couple more days, probably Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before we get close to our final 2 deep. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. I think the guys that got the votes, and there's a couple other guys I think that would be great captains, but when you look at Greg Tucker, you look at James Dowg in the secondary, that wasn't a surprise, and they were very close. They were neck and neck, and when you just see what their teammates, we as coaches sit there and the players sign their name to the ballot, we look and see who voted for who, and for the older players, it holds pretty true. And there's 8 guys I mentioned because there's 3 guys: Josh James, Kyle Smith. I thought you'd done an awful lot. Dylan Simak, those guys have matured so much in this program. I want them to be kind of a captain's council. I want them to be leaders of their position. We needed Kyle as leader of the defensive line. Ryan Armstrong was named one of the official captains. We need him and Josh James to handle the offensive line. In the secondary, we've got those 2 guys in Tucker and Dowgan. Dylan Simak, we need him as a leader in that receiver. So we've got all the positions covered, and that's why I wanted 8 guys to kind of be noticed. The 5 guys with Dowgan, Tucker, Mac Roach, certainly, Ryan Armstrong, and Shane Durbin, they'll be our guys that will be our spokesmen on Saturdays and probably at team meetings, but we got a great senior class. Well, we got a lot of new players we got to find out in that defensive line, backups and linebackers, we said, but I like the competition that we've created. I like the players that have come in here as freshmen. We could play as many as 4 or 5 freshmen on offense, and there might be 2 or 3 or none on defense. I just want to be able to look at it, but create competition. You saw today what happened in the kicking game. Coulter Hamill is a tremendous leg, but here comes Benton Brasky from Billy Central. I think he was 5 for 6. Dylan Torgerson, who was a kicker a couple years ago at Mayville State, transferred here redshirted. He's our #1 punter, but he put himself in the mix today with those field goals and the PATs that he kicked. So there's competition everywhere, and I think that's healthy. It's good for the players. But when we settle into who the #1 offensive line is, we settle into who that #1 defense is, that cohesiveness now starts to take over.